The job itself wasn't unusual. 3 of us were hired to document a small town that was slowly being phased out. Old storefronts, empty streets, public buildings scheduled for demolition. The kind of work that looks boring until someone needs the records later. We'd done similar contracts before, places that felt forgotten but harmless. This one came with a thicker packet of paperwork than usual, but we didn't think much of it at the time. We were given official permits and a list of properties we were allowed to access. Everything was scheduled. Everything was logged. One of the locations was an old school. It had been closed for years due to consolidation and budget cuts. The structure was still sound, just unused. According to the records, it had been emptied and secured shortly after closure. We arrived late in the morning. The parking lot was cracked and overgrown, but the building itself stood straight, its flagpole bare. From the outside, the building looked intact. No broken windows, no vandalism. Weeds growing through the sidewalk, but nothing that suggested people had been going in and out. Even the doors opened without resistance, like they were still being maintained. Inside, the air smelled stale but clean. Dust and old disinfectant. Classrooms were empty, desks stacked neatly against walls, chalkboards wiped clean, bulletin boards stripped bare. It didn't feel abandoned. It felt paused. We split up to cover different sections, calling out occasionally so we knew where everyone was. That's when one of us noticed something that didn't fit. In one classroom, pushed against the back wall, was a large wooden cabinet. Not a built-in unit, not a supply closet, a standalone piece of furniture. The school used standard metal storage units. This didn't match anything else in the building. Dark wood, deep scratches along the sides, like it had been moved repeatedly. We assumed it had been left behind during a cleanup. Part of the job allowed us to open and document fixtures that weren't secured, so we checked it. Inside, there was nothing. No shelves, no hooks, just empty space. We photographed it and moved on. About 20 minutes later, we heard a sound upstairs. Not footsteps, not a bang. Something quieter, like furniture being dragged slowly across a floor. We called out to each other. Everyone was accounted for. We went upstairs together. The sound had come from the same classroom. The door was still open, just as we'd left it. The cabinet was no longer against the wall. It had been moved several feet forward. There were no scrape marks, no drag lines. The dust on the floor was still evenly settled. One of us joked that maybe we were remembering it wrong. No one laughed. We checked the photos. The timestamps confirmed they'd been taken less than half an hour earlier. In the earlier shots, the cabinet was flush against the wall. Now it wasn't. We didn't touch it again. No one suggested opening it. We finished the rest of the building quickly and packed up. Before leaving, one of us asked the site contact about the cabinet. He paused. Then he said it shouldn't be there. He double-checked the paperwork while we waited. There was no record of it being delivered. No record of it being removed. He suggested it might have been placed there temporarily by a contractor years ago, but he didn't sound convinced. That night, while backing up the photos, we noticed something else. In several images, taken from different angles, the cabinet appeared slightly open. None of us remembered opening it after the first time. We were certain of that. In one photo, it was fully closed. In the next, the door was ajar. The timestamps were minutes apart. No one had been in that room. We finished the job the next day. The cabinet wasn't mentioned again, and we didn't go looking for it. The school was demolished a month later. When the final demolition report was released, it listed only structural materials and debris, concrete, steel, insulation. There was no mention of any additional items removed from the building. No amended inventory. No cabinet.